Finland and Norway are telling airline pilots to be ready to fly without GPS, and some think Russia is up to something.
Here's a summary of the article.
Norway and Finland have both reported problems with GPS signals in their northern regions this month. Disruptions to global positioning system signals have been reported in northern Norway and Finland this month, overlapping with the final days of NATO's Exercise Trident Juncture, a massive military exercise that has drawn Russia's ire. A press officer for Widerøe, a Norway-based airline operating in the Nordics, told the Barents Observer at the beginning of November that pilots reported the loss of GPS while flying into airports in the northern Norwegian region of Finnmark, near the Russian border, though the officer stressed that pilots had alternative systems and there were no safety risks. Aviation authorities in Finland issued similar notices in early November, warning air traffic of disruptions to GPS signals over the northern region of Lapland, which borders Finnmark. Much of the exercise took place in southern and central Norway, but fighter jets and other military aircraft used airports in northern Norway and Finland. Norwegian intelligence services said in October 2017 that electronic disturbances, including jamming of GPS signals of flights in the northern part of the country, in September were suspected of coming from Russia while that country was carrying out its Zapad 2017 military exercise. If your offensive military capabilities rely on GPS, guess what the adversary will try to do? Hans Christensen, director of the Nuclear Information Project at the Federation of American Scientists, said in response to the latest reports of GPS interference in Finland.
This post received a score of 49,072, with an upvote ratio of 87%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is the best TLDR I could make. Original, greater than much of the exercise took place in southern and central Norway, but fighter jets and other military aircraft used airports in northern Norway and Finland. Greater than, if your offensive military capabilities rely on GPS, guess what the adversary will try to do? Hans Christensen, director of the Nuclear Information Project at the Federation of American Scientists, said in response to the latest reports of GPS interference in Finland.
No pilot worth their salt needs GPS to fly or land, even in airliners. There are ground-based radio systems that can bring an aircraft in 200 feet approximately 80 meters off the runway before the pilot takes over. GPS is very much a luxury, not a necessity for flying.
While most of what you wrote is true, GPS relieves a lot of stress and workload for a pilot, allowing focus on other responsibilities. Luxury is different than GPS is a really valuable instrument that allows more energy to be spent focused on other important tasks.
Well said. We've had working avionics for decades, but we are always improving them.
Grandpa, who flew during WW2 when ground-based radio was spoofed so extremely that Germans were landing in Ally airfields fully convinced they landed in Germany. Oh, you sweet summer child.
That's hilarious. Ah, end of a long day. Time to put my feet up and have a strudel. Wait a minute, verdammter shy.
Given the late war state of the Luftwaffe, they're probably the ones who got to have the most strudel.
The U.S. government does this sometimes too. Around Arizona and New Mexico sometime GPS signals will be lost and the government puts out a notice saying it's for military activity. Source: airline pilot that can fly without GPS.
A bit different, as the news is saying the GPS is losing signal in another country near the border. So it's not like there is a friendly warning.
Sure. I guess I meant to point out that it's not uncommon for military exercises to jam or otherwise disable GPS signals. In the U.S., the Department of Defense controls the entire GPS system on U.S. satellites.
This is nothing out of the usual for pilots flying in the northern parts of Norway. Russia is frequently jamming GPS signals during their drills. There is also no civil or military aviation service which is solely dependent on GPS or other GNSS-based systems for navigation or landing. Except maybe ADS be used for separating helicopter traffic going to oil rigs in the North Sea, but even they have rigorous procedures to ensure separation in the case of system failures.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by SMMRY.com, without any human intervention.